will never forget that day when I was standing there in a new salon looking at my empty chair. There was all these people, stylists working around me with clients in their chair, but I was staring at an empty chair. At the time, I'd been doing hair 27 years, and it didn't matter. In that moment, I felt like, and I knew I was starting all over again. It hit me like a rock. Nobody knew me. Nobody was asking to get into my chair. At that moment, all I wanted was clients sitting in that chair that I was looking at. And I knew then it was up to me to make it happen. That moment was very humbling, but it also reminded me of one powerful truth. You are always in charge of your own success.
Hi there, I'm Sherry Brody, and after more than 40 years working behind the chair, I've learned that success doesn't come from luck. It comes from a lot of faith, perseverance, and courage to keep showing up when life gets messy. Almost 15 years ago, I lost everything. I had to rebuild everything from the ground up, my life, my career, and my confidence. There were moments I wanted to quit, but by God's grace, I found the strength to cut through it, one step, one prayer, one haircut at a time. That's what this podcast is all about. Cutting through it is where we get real about what it takes to build a successful career and a life behind the chair that actually works. So if you're ready to stop doubting yourself, strengthen your skills, and build a business rooted in faith, purpose, and truth, you're in the right place, my friend. This is Cutting Through It, where we don't just talk about hair. We talk about life, growth, and everything it takes to become the hairstylist and the person God created you to be.
In today's episode, I want to take you back to that moment and share the mindset shift that helped me go from having an empty chair to a fully booked chair in quite a short period of time. It was about 14 years ago. I can't even believe it's been 14 years, but I went through just a really difficult time in my life and a huge, huge life change. And I made a decision after working in the Bay Area for 27 years. I decided to relocate back here to Phoenix. That's where my home is now, and rebuild my life. And before I came, I did all the things and picked the salon I was going to work at. And then I was there that first day. And I remember just standing there in my chair. And for the first time in so many years, I didn't have a single client. This was a really busy salon I was in. It was super busy. I think there was about, 30 stylists in the salon. And there I was, like, looking at my empty chair and just feeling like I was just humbled and taken back to what it feels like and what it felt like to be a new hairstylist. And for a moment, I don't know, I had that like kind of panic feeling for a moment. And then I thought, oh, Sherry, you can do this. You've trained so many other hairstylists on how to build a career behind the chair. And now it's time for you to do what you teach. So I did. I gave myself a pep talk and I started doing all the things that I knew I needed to do to build a chair, one step at a time. It didn't happen overnight. I know a lot of times we as hairstylists, we just want it to happen overnight. We just want those clients in the chair. It took me about 6 months before I had a clientele that was sustaining me. Now, within that 6 months, I was going back to the Bay Area every 4 to 5 weeks and working a chair and for about 5 days. And the income I was making there was really helping me get by in my new life. Well, after 6 months, I didn't really need to do it, but I did. I did go back to the Bay Area for a little over 2 years. I think it was two and a half years, because I didn't want to say goodbye to those clients. But it got tiring. It got really tiring to be traveling back and forth. So after a year, I backed off. I was working 5 days a week, working all the days that, and the times that I didn't want to work. And after a year, I was able to scale back and work the hours that I wanted to work, because I had built the trust and confidence in enough clients that was sustaining me. And I share that story with you because I know that that is our biggest challenge as hairstylists is how do we get clients in our chair, and not just in our chair, but how do we keep them loyal to us and keep them coming back and building a solid, loyal clientele that gives us the financial freedom and the life that we're dreaming about. And when I share that story with you, I want to share with you as well that wasn't the first time that I had to rebuild my business. I relocated. I think that was about the fourth time that I had to relocate. The other times I was pretty young. And each time that I relocated, I learned something new, got a little stronger, I got a little bolder. And say the number one thing that really helped me was that I wasn't afraid to try new things. I really knew that my chair, that was my business. And I speak to this a lot. You'll hear me speak to this a lot on this podcast. And if you've taken any classes from me or part of my business and know me, your chair is your business. I look at it as you have to really learn how to own your chair like a pro. Throughout my 40-some year career, I've worked in every aspect of salon that there is out there. I started out hourly. I went to commission. I apprenticed probably 3 or 4 times. I worked rental. I was a rental. I owned a very successful salon for quite a few years and had the blessing of being able to train many hairstylists onto success and had a really successful business and ended up going through a lot of changes and ended up closing and having another salon, just a smaller one on my own. I definitely know what it takes to build a business behind the chair. And so today I just want to share with you 4 things that you can start doing today to really jumpstart your business behind it. And the first thing is you want to do, like we just talked about, how looking at your chair as your business. A lot of times we as hairstylists, and I know I was guilty of this too when I was a young hairstylist. We would think that, well, it's up to the salon owner to get clients in my chair. And now, I mean, like when I first started, there wasn't Instagram or social media. That wasn't even a thing. But I know now, like most stylists are relying just on social media to build their business and to get clients in their chair. And I'm going to tell you right now that yes, that's great because people are searching it. But there's nothing like in person, like talking to people, strangers, people that you would love to work on about your business. You really have to learn how to be proactive. You're not going to build, at least not fast. You're not going to build a successful, fast business by waiting in the back room for walk-ins or, well, don't have anybody on my books today. I'm going to go home. That's not when I was rebuilding my business. I mean, I was there when the clients were available. I was there at nights. Now I want to remind you that when I relocated, I'd been in the industry at the time for a little over 30 years. So I'd already experienced having a fully booked clientele and being able to be known in the industry in my area so I could work the hours I wanted in the day. I earned that. It took a lot of work, but I earned that. And now it was up to me when I started over again I had to start from the ground zero up again. I had to go from being a stylist in my area that was sought after and charging top dollar for my work to being the bottom rung again. And what that took was I had to really work on my mindset. And that was, I had to go, okay, Sherry, this is where you're at. You're starting out new. I couldn't charge top dollar in the area I was at. I had to work the nights. I had to work weekends. That meant I worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Did I love it? Of course not. But success takes sacrifice. So I had to sacrifice my time, my personal life to do this. So I digress. I do. Sometimes I get in and I do a little rant, but I wanted to share that with you because starting, having a business working behind the chair, it's not like you get out of school and you can have a salon suite or you can go rent a chair somewhere and the clients are just going to come. And it takes a few years when you're first starting out. I'm just going to tell you right now, it takes a few years to really, really walk in those shoes. So the first thing, that's my first tip for you, is that take ownership of your chair because the chair is your business. Your business. You are the CEO of your business. And if you want it to be successful, you have to own it and you have to have that mindset of owning it. The second tip I want to share with you is to get clear on a few things. This is your mindset thinking here that I feel it's so important. And we as hairstylists, we kind of overlook it. We get really excited about, oh my gosh, there's a really cool salon I want to work at, or maybe you're dreaming of opening your own salon suite, or or you just jumping in to do it. There's 3 things that you need to get clear on first. And I share that with you because there's so many times I didn't, and I regretted it and ended up feeling completely burnout and unhappy and questioning whether I picked the right career for me. The first thing is really think about before you go to apply at a salon, or maybe you're working at a salon and you're not happy. Think about, is it the salon environment that you want to work in? Like, really think about that. I know for me, just starting out, or even when I relocated the first few times, I didn't think about it. I just thought I needed to find a salon that needed a stylist. But it's super important that we as hairstylists, where we work, it's so important. We spend so much time there that that environment has to align with who we are as a person, because that environment, it's going to attract the people that like that environment. And if that environment isn't you, you're not going to vibe with the stylist there. So that's really important. And I want to encourage you, if you are a new hairstylist, you're also, when you go to look at the salons, I would encourage you, if you do find a salon that you like, to remember that you're interviewing them as well. So before you even, go for an interview, let's say you found the salon you want, make sure you write down some things that you want to know about. Like, do they offer education? Do they offer any insurance benefits? Like, how do they pay you? There's so many different questions. And I do have a download for that. I will attach it at the bottom of this podcast, because I think now that I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I think it would be really beneficial for you to have that. And it's a pros and cons. It's like, it shares the differences of all the different type of salon environments that you have to choose from. And I just wrote down the pros and cons of each, so that you would know as a stylist going in, just be more confident, and also just a list of questions. But I encourage you, that's my first one on the where, like what type of salon environment you want to work in. And, like where, like what part of the city do you want to work in? Downtown part? Do you want to work in the suburbs? Do you want to work in a boutique type salon? There's so many things that will affect you and your psyche if you choose a salon environment that you're not happy with. The other one you want to think about is like, what services light you up? Do haircuts light you up? Does color light you up? Like, what do you really love doing? And because I think it's really important that as a stylist, we want to be known for something. But I want to share that with caution. Like, I know a lot of stylists, extensions are huge, and, creative color, beautiful work I see people doing. But if you're building a business from the ground zero, don't poo-poo haircutting. Haircutting is the easiest way to get clients in your chair and to build trust. It's the bridge. So like, if you could give somebody a great haircut and a great experience in your chair, then you're going to be able to share with them the services you really enjoy doing, and they're going to trust you so much they're just going to do it. So haircutting is huge on this. I can honestly tell you that earlier I shared with you that being able to talk to people about your business and strangers, one of the things I would do, I on my days I had nobody, which was pretty much most of the days when I started, I would actually look at places where my client hung out at, or somebody that, like, I would go to the mall or go to a restaurant or something like that. And I would actually have cards with me that said free haircut. Because to me, I'm like, I just need to get my hands in hair, number one. But number two, I need to get him in my chair. And I had all this time, and a haircut doesn't cost me anything but time. So I would offer them a free haircut. And, some days, I wouldn't get any, but usually 1 out of 10 would come in. And when they got in my chair, I gave them a great haircut, but I gave them a great experience, something that they remembered and want to come back to and want to refer me to. And then I would take a before and after, and then ask for a review. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you, is that don't poo-poo haircuts. So thinking about the services that you really want to do and to be known for. The other thing is think about who you want to work on. I think this one is overlooked a lot with hairstylists, because we're just so eager to get clients in our chair and start getting money in the bank. I get it. And honestly, sometimes we just have to. We just have to take that client that comes in. But as you're building your business and you're really thinking about the services you want to do and the type of client you want to work on, start really looking at them on social media, finding those people on social media and following them and commenting on their posts, and so they can start seeing you, and, go to those places that person hangs out. And that's where you would go and talk to them about your business and handing out those cards and offering a complimentary haircut. Now, remember that I share these things with you from my own experience. I've been mentored a lot from a lot of people and worked in a lot of different salon environments. And I can honestly tell you that if you can get clear on these things, really take some time, just sit down with a journal. I hate writing. So sometimes I'll just pull open my iPhone and the notes and just start talking and just start listing the things about a salon environment that you want, that you dream about being in, like picturing yourself working there. Really think about it. Where is it located in the town? What type of town? Is it in the city? Where is it? What does it look like? Is it boutique? Is it small? Is it a lot of stylists? La la la. What services do you want to be known for? It's very important to be known for something in the industry. Even if you're known for extensions or color, remember also that haircutting is important. Everybody needs a haircut. It's a foundation of our industry, and it's the easiest way to get clients in your chair and to build trust. And be thinking about who you want to work on. There's nothing worse than looking at your books and you see Mary Jane coming in on Saturdays, and you're like, oh God, Mary Jane's coming in on Saturday. And you just hate seeing Mary Jane because Mary Jane is negative Nelly. Like when she comes in, there's nothing you do that makes her happy. You're just miserable doing her. You don't click with her. You don't like her. And so all week long, you're thinking about Mary Jane coming in on Saturday. You're talking about it in the room. You're thinking about it at night. And by the time Mary Jane comes in on Saturday, you're stressed out. This is what causes burnout in hairstylists. So that's why I tell you to think about the type of clients you want to work on. Because yes, although you're going to take those clients because you have to get money in the bank, as you start going out there and being proactive and going to the places that your client, the type of client, your ideal client you want to work on is at, you're going to start attracting those people, and you start taking control of your chair and start taking control of the type of clients you're working on. The third one is you want to set yourself up for success. The first one is to build a website. And this is a big one, get online booking. And we already talked about networking. Go out there and get them. I just talked to you about that. And hey, if you're nervous about doing a website or online booking, there's a lot of free website builders that are super simple. You just want a place that somebody can go when they see you on social media and they can go and learn more about you. That was one of the things that when clients sat in my chair, they said, wow, you had a website. That was awesome. I felt like I knew you before I even came here. That was like a really big thing that made people want to give me a chance. And then the online booking. Clients nowadays, they want to book when they want to book. I have a lot of clients that travel for business, so they may be overseas. So I may be sleeping when they're awake, but they could go online and reserve an appointment. Now, in my booking app, I have it set so that they can request that appointment, but it's not a solid appointment until I go in and I accept it. And there's also ramifications like boundaries you can set within the online booking app so that, like, for instance, if I have a new client that's wanting to book for color, they can't book for color with me without booking for a consultation first. So I'll have a place where they can reserve a consultation with me, and then only then can I book them the color, because then I'm not booking somebody that wants this full blown out color correction when all I had time to do was color. So just know that if you're nervous about online booking, that you can set boundaries within there that fit you and your lifestyle and your business. And then the networking part, of definitely going out and getting them. But I also recommend, one of the things I did was join networking groups. You can find those online at meetups. And it took me going to several of them before I found people that were my vibe. And when you go to those groups, it really helps you grow as a stylist as well, because you kind of you learn kind of your own elevator speech, so they call it, where you say a little something about yourself and your business, what sets you apart. And everybody in the networking group has a few minutes to do that. And one of the positive things of it is that everybody promotes each other within the group. So that's a real positive there because you've got people starting to help you build your business. That really helped. And I know it can be kind of scary. I know it's scary to get up and talk in front of people, but this gets you out of your comfort zone. And guys, the only way you're going to grow and the fastest way you're going to grow is to get out of your own way, get out of your comfort zone. When you're afraid of something, it's just yourself like protecting you from being embarrassed or, falling on your face or, doing something stupid where nobody wants to be embarrassed. And, there's going to be times you're going to fall on your face. You're going to say something embarrassing. It's okay. Nobody's going to remember it in the future, but you're going to learn from it. So I want to encourage you there. And the last tip, the number 4 tip that I want to give you is when you get them in your chair, give them an experience that they will remember. There is a hairstylist on every corner. And if you're working in a salon suite next door, what can you do to set you apart as a hairstylist? For instance, for me, every client that sits in my chair, I get eye level with them. I'm looking at them eye level so they feel comfortable. When a new client comes into your chair, it's almost like a blind date. Ugh, you don't know them. It's kind of nerve-wracking. And can you imagine being in a chair and your blind date comes in and you're looking up at him? Yeah, clients come in. It's normal for us to meet strangers, but it's not for them. So you want to make it as comfortable for them as possible. So get eye level. If you don't have a chair to sit in to get eye level, then pump their chair up so they're more eye level with you. It just makes it more comfortable. That's one thing that I do. I give a really thorough consultation. Even if a client has come to me numerous times, I still give them a consultation. I still take time to look at them and make sure they're heard and seen. Their shampoo experience, I always give a head massage. Every client that sits in my chair says, "Oh, Sherry, that's the best thing ever." And it is. So I always do that. No matter what, I never skimp on that. Anyhow, those are just a few things, that I do as an experience. You want to give them a great experience. And during your service, make sure you're educating them and sharing with them, like what products you're using, why you're using them. When I'm talking to somebody about their hair, it's so funny to me because I'll show them their growth patterns and say, well, this is why your hair is doing this. And this is why you can't have this, but you can have this. Like they want to know those things and it builds the trust in you. And I share with them the products that I'm using on them and share, why I'm using it. Then I'll teach them how to apply it. Then I'll teach them how to use the blow dryer. And always 9 times out of 10, they're going to buy a product from me. But anyhow, that builds the confidence in you and they remember that. Clients want that. And then make sure for yourself that you take those before and afters of those clients because you really want to start building a portfolio. And always, 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 always ask for a referral, give them cards, ask for referrals, ask for a review, and always say, to maintain this haircut or to maintain this service, you'll need to come back in 6 weeks and give them a couple of dates, which will work best for you. Don't just say, would you like to rebook? Give them dates. A lot of stylists, they're like, I don't know how to ask for rebooking. Take control of your chair. You just keeping your eye on the prize. You want a fully booked chair. You want more time with your family. You want to stop working the weekends and the nights. You want your bank account full. Be thinking about that. So these things are so vital to building your business quickly behind the chair. And just as a bonus tip, I couldn't stop myself, is always follow up. If follow up 2 days later, do second day callbacks, call them back and say, hey, this is Sherry. And I just wanted to call and see how you're liking your hair. Is it styling okay? This is the time where a lot of clients, they will, in our last session, I talked about clients ghosting you. Clients aren't going to call you and say, hey, I don't like my hair. It's not styling right. Or maybe they just need a little bit more hair cut off. But when you call back, you take the time and personally ask them, then they're going to tell you. Sometimes they won't tell you because some people are nervous about it. And sometimes, yeah, they might say, you know what? I wasn't happy with my service. And this is a time for you to ask why, because this is a learning experience for you. Don't beat yourself up. We cannot please every single client that sits in your chair. And I want to repeat that. You cannot please every client in your chair, but you can learn from them. So learn from it. If they tell you, something, write it down and remember it and remember it next time to make it better. But offer them a solution. Have them come back in and give them a complimentary style to teach them. Maybe they just need a little tweak in their haircut, but get them back in your chair and make it right. They're going to remember that. All right. So I need to close this episode. Like I said earlier, I tend to go off on a rant, but this is something that is it's just so dear to my heart. Being a hairstylist has gotten me through being a single mom and gotten me through so many rough periods in my life. And I love what I do. And I love most of all how being a hairstylist that we change lives. We make people feel so much better. I feel like God has blessed each and every one of us with this gift of being a hairstylist. We serve people. I always say, like, your work isn't about you. It's about how you make your clients feel that are in your chair. Because to get those reviews and those referrals, clients need to feel seen and heard. And the work that you do behind the chair, guys, it is so powerful. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in being stressed out about the money and about our own lives that we forget the impact that we have on others. So don't forget that. The most important thing of all is that, give them a memorable experience. So just to recap everything, remember you're the CEO of your chair. Own it like a pro. Get very clear on the where, the what, and who. Set yourself up for success. Get yourself a website, get yourself online booking app, and begin getting out there and getting out of your comfort zone and networking and talking to people and bringing them in. And then, most importantly, give them something to remember. Give them a memorable experience. And don't forget to follow up. Asking for their feedback is going to be vital to you becoming that much better as a hairstylist working behind the chair.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today on Cutting Through It. I hope today inspired you. I hope that it gave you some clarity and confidence. But most importantly, I hope it gave you the courage to keep going. Because you, my friend, you're not meant to do this journey alone as a hairstylist. If this episode lit something up in you, would you hit the subscribe button? But most importantly, let me know by leaving me a review. And also, I have another favor to ask. Will you share this with another hairstylist who you know that might need a little boost today? Your words help this message from this podcast reach more hairstylists who need it. And if you want to dive a bit deeper with me and learn about all the free resources I have, head over to my website at onpointhairbysherry.com. Until next time, stay faithful, stay focused, and stay on point. And never, never forget that your clients, they'll remember more about how you made them feel than anything else at all. Have a blessed day.